Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. It looked like our producers are out there having a ball, and we would like for them to continue having fun. But let's get this show rolling. Listen, this is going to be a dynamic show for you this evening. Of course, I need not introduce our guest, but I will in a short time. First, I want to let you know this month, the month of September, is about public awareness, legislation, and community empowerment, i.e., teamwork can make the dream work. And so we're trying to bring to you this month individuals who have been proven to be those who are community oriented, who have been branded in the community about being community oriented, who has a passion, a heart for empowering the least of us, and who really love what they do. All right. I mean, they do the work because they believe in what they're doing, and they really have a purpose behind what they're doing. So this show, of course, we talk a lot about dispelling negative myths in association with African American men. We talk about men, African American men need to be the leaders in their community, in their tribes, in their families. We also talked about the need to kind of dispel those negative myths of fathers or African American fathers over their children, because I personally believe I'm a good one, and all the men that I know who are fathers really believe in the art of fatherhood, or the title father, and the whole body of fatherhood. But with that being said, listen, let's get into the show. We at Fathers Who Care really to believe that any man that's physically capable can make a baby. However, it takes a real man to be a father. And so what we're bringing to you today is one, our representative. I'm going to introduce him now. Our representative, LaShawn Ford, of course, of the 8th Legislative District. Representative Ford is a man of God, a proud father of his daughter, a community servant for social change, and currently serves. You're still on the small business.
I'm the chair. Yes.
You're the chair now, right? And how about the restorative justice?
I'm the chair of that. Also.
So you're the chair of the Small Business Empowerment and Restorative Justice, right?
That's right.
And what else are you the chair of?
Those are the two that I'm the chair of. Okay. Besides being the chair of the new West Side Heroin Task Force.
We're going to talk about that tonight.
Yes.
Because that task force is something that I think we need to know more about. We need to be addressing. We need to understand the significance of this plague on our community, and what can we do to kind of reduce the substance ill in our community. Back to Ford. Representative Ford is brighter days are ahead of us all.
That's right.
You are compassionate in building relationships. You believe in being what you do. You believe in building. You're also an agent, right?
Right. I'm a real estate broker.
You're a real estate broker.
That's right.
You believe in social change.
That's right.
You're an activist. Do you believe that you're an activist?
I do believe I'm an activist.
Okay, and you also believe in advocating on behalf of those who are less fortunate.
That's right.
So listen, I've been trying to read this stuff, and I should have just talked about it.
Because you know me.
Because I know you. I mean, and I'm sitting there trying to read this stuff, and I could have basically just talked about you because we go way back,
Yes.
and I really believe in the work you do, and I actually am profoundly proud of you.
Yeah.
And the work that you do, and I believe in the integrity that you represent.
We go way back when I had the problems with the feds.
Yeah,
well, praying and brought me through, and always said
the truth stands on its own, bro.
Right.
The truth stands, because when you do right come back.
That's
you know,
right.
and even though we sometimes get tested,
Yes.
it ain't the end of the world.
Right.
Some of us have to be tested in order to have a testimony.
Right.
All right, no testimony without the test, right?
Right.
But you prevailed, right?
Yes.
God said you would, right?
Yes.
And He carries His own, right?
Yes.
So I had no problem with it. I knew you was gonna be okay. But some folks don't like it.
Right.
Some folks want you to Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some folks want you to get vetted a little bit.
Yeah.
And you ain't the only one.
Right.
All right. And you ain't gonna be the only one.
Yeah.
But Rep, let's do this here tonight. We want to have a light show, but we want to specifically talk about some serious concerns. We want to talk about some environmental strategies. We want to talk about some social and environmental changes. But we want to also talk about this plight of substance abuse in our community. But then we want to also kind of push the envelope just a little bit tonight and talk about mental health. What is mental health? We want to talk about trauma. We want to talk about the lack of services, the lack of understanding, the lack of awareness in relationship to mental health. And mental illness, because our folks think of mental health different than others.
Okay.
But our folks are lacking in getting services or getting help
Right.
in that area. So inadvertently, that could be something that gets or just pushes a person into doing some abnormal things, all right, like shooting each other.
Right.
Because they may be chemically dependent,
Right.
which they don't need to be locked up. They need to be treated. So let's do this here. I want to just thank you again, Representative, for being on the show. And thank you for letting me have a few minutes to just kind of get my bearings up. But I want to ask this personal question of you. And I don't want you to come as the legislator.
Right.
I want you to come as you.
Right.
And so I'm going to ask you simple. Who are you? Who is LaShawn Ford? And what is LaShawn Ford's purpose for existing?
Well,
not the rep now.
Not the rep. I mean, first of all, I'm a child of God above all.
Yeah.
I'm the son of my mother and the father of my daughter, and the brother of my sister. Her birthday is today. And so I wish her a happy birthday.
My brother's birthday today.
Wow.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I am a friend to my friends.
Right.
And that's what helps me do the things that I try to do.
Now, you know, it's always this way with men, particularly men of substance and purpose, men of God. We're rather modest people. We don't talk much about ourselves. I don't know why, but we just got that phobia about talking about ourselves because we like to remain humble. So we don't even like to talk about it. We don't like to say we like to do this or we like to do that. You know, I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But the whole purpose of that to let you know that in spite of the work that you do, there are some things about you that motivate you to do the work that you do. That's really outside of getting paid. Because you don't need the job.
Right.
There's no rep.
Right.
Considering what they put you through,
Right,
all right?
right.
You know, but you took on that job because you wanted to do work to empower the community. And you've been doing it. And you continue to do it. And I can openly say, because I know you, that anytime there's an opportunity to empower, enlighten, and engage folk, you're always there.
Yes.
I mean, you're always trying to create some outlet or some initiative where people can be heard.
That's right.
And voices can be heard and people can engage. So you do rally the people. So what we want to do tonight is just use the show for that.
Yes.
And so you can take those liberties, all right?
Yes, thank you.
So I'm going to kind of go through some things and I'm going to ask you simpler. Because this question came up last night. Well, actually yesterday when we had our executive meeting of Eileen of Don Harmon's office. What is the state of Illinois?
The state of the state right now is, I would say, a failure. You know,
Failure.
It's a failure.
Did you just say that?
Yes, it's a failure
Wow.
because, you know, we still have unpaid bills. We still have social services being shut down. We still have people not able to seek mental health. We still have people in our city and our state with failing schools. We still have massive drug and gun violence. All of that is the state just as much as it is the city.
Right.
So as much as I want to,
And then you guys funds are being cut as
and
well,
the funds
right?
are being cut.
You're not getting paid.
Right. We haven't. I think we are behind in pay.
I'm talking about personally.
Personally, right.
As a rep.
They put our pay behind. So we are behind about 4 months of pay.
So the reps and the
Senators, right.
are not getting paid.
We're in the queue to get paid.
In the queue.
Right.
That means when it get up there.
When
huh?
it gets there.
But anyway, let's move on. So you said the state of the state is an F. You give the state an F.
Oh yeah. I mean,
That's failure.
especially as an African American and living on the west side of Chicago, I mean, the state is a failure,
Okay.
without a doubt.
So now I'll ask you a question down the road, and I'll bring it now. What can we do as concerned citizens to kind of rally behind our legislators and or the governor to bring some closure or to bring back some resources? I mean, I know I'm still paying taxes.
That's right.
I know I'm still paying taxes. So I know the money's still getting collected.
That's right.
So if I'm paying taxes and you're paying taxes and everybody's still paying taxes, where's the money?
Right. And so we're still paying bills. That's a fact. And what's happening, bills are being paid slow. And we have to make sure that we get a hold to the comptroller because she's determining what's most important. And that's a problem.
And you have a relationship with her.
Well, I mean, she's a Republican, and she's.
But you're a state rep.
Yeah, I have a relationship with her. I know her, but the fact is, she's handpicked by Governor Rowland.
Right. So let me ask this question then. We have folks here who are shutting down every day. Businesses are closing every day. We didn't have an opportunity to employ some young folks this summer.
Right.
And then you wonder why young folks are running to the street grabbing guns. They have no leadership. They have no discipline. They have nothing to do.
Right.
And then we're worried about what they do when they're out there.
Right.
Let's go get this caller, Representative LaShawn Ford, and then we're going to come back and talk again about some mental health issues, how to reduce underage drinking, substance abuse, what is social and environmental strategies, and what can we do to save our babies. Caller, you on air, you'll come in a question.
Hello. I have a question. I have a comment for the representative.
Thank you for calling. This is Representative LaShawn Ford. Thank you so much.
Okay. First of all, I want to first commend you, Representative, for your faithfulness in doing God's work. And I say God's work because it's got to be God's work in order for you to get out and do what you do and to hear you saying that you're not being paid for it. So I know it's God's work, and I know it's God's will that you continue to push forward for our people. And I just got a question for you, and my question to you is, what can you say to the people out here with everything that's going on with the election that's getting ready to take place? Can you say something to the people about how important it is for everyone to get out and vote so that a change can be made? Because, like you said, the state that we're in now is a real devastating one. I need to hear from you, our representative. Tell us what we need to do in order to get our people out there to vote for this new election that's coming up.
I think that was a good question. I'm going to say good statement that you made, caller. And thank you so much for the call. Go ahead, Ray.
You know, I think it's clear. I mean, when we look at our situations, we have to know that change is needed, and we have to vote that change into office. When we look in Illinois, we have a perfect example of what a Trump administration would be like with Ronald's administration. So if we don't want a national agenda the way we have here in Illinois, we need to get out and vote. It reminds me of being when I had like 60 agents in my real estate office. You know, they would ask me, you know, when are you going to get motivational speakers to come in to talk to us? I said, well, you know, the number one motivation is you look at your bank account. You look at your lifestyle, and that should motivate you to want to work hard.
Absolutely.
And so it's hard to give pep talks to people. The life situation should be your motivation to want to vote your interests.
Okay, so listen, thank you so much, caller, for that call.
And of course, that's not directed to her because she's involved.
Absolutely.
You know,
you're talking in general.
In general.
Yeah, but listen, we got LaShawn Ford, Representative LaShawn Ford, with us this evening from the 8th Legislative District, and we've been talking about what can we do currently. What can we do to promote a safe and drug-free community, to empower our folks, to engage our people? How can we address mental health, trauma? Is trauma real in the community? Are you trauma? Do you feel traumatized? I do.
You know,
I do.
You know,
talk to me.
Trauma is, when we talk about mental health. And
yes,
trauma,
talk about that.
Mental health is just as important as physical health.
Absolutely.
So we have to have a strong mental health, and we have to have a strong mental health. And so many people, there's this stigma on mental health when we should be talking to our doctors and our friends and our families if we feel stress.
Absolutely.
We can't let mental health
slide
because you have to be healthy.
Absolutely.
Mentally and physically. Many people think that all they have to worry about is their cholesterol, their hypertension, but you know what?
But you're stressed
out. The mental health has a
So what should
part
they
in
do?
it.
So listen, okay, talk about the mental health piece, talk about the trauma piece, and then we want to talk about substance abuse, all right? In the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and what's trending in the community, all right?
So I would think that everyone should have a medical home. Okay. Everyone should have a medical home.
That means a primary care doctor.
Right. President Obama fought to make sure that everyone in Illinois will have an opportunity to get affordable care,
Right.
especially those that are on Medicaid. And so if you're on Medicaid and you can barely afford health care, you should have a medical home.
Right.
And if you have a medical home, you should have not only your physical evaluation, but you should also have your mental evaluation. And we know if we're struggling mentally, just like we know if our body is not feeling good.
Right.
You have to answer the call.
You get the signs.
You get the signs.
Okay.
So I think that is
And when
best.
folks have the signs, what should they do?
The primary physician could help them.
So if they're feeling stressed,
They're feeling stressed.
overwhelmed,
Yes.
lethargic, not eating, all right?
Yeah, it's sleeping too much or
Okay.
not sleeping. Those type
or
of
engaging in substances.
yeah.
They should.
You know what? If they have risky behavior,
Right.
and if they feel that their
That's a good
lives
one.
at risk, then they should definitely see their doctor. Their
Okay.
doctor is going to know when they're at risk.
Let me ask this question about there was a task force that you well, not task force, it was a press conference that you put on
Yes.
at the state building to I would like to say, what was that? There was a press conference to announce the task force on heroin.
Yes.
In the state of Illinois, right?
Yes.
Tell us why.
So
Tell us why you brought up
I
you want to create it. You
Yeah.
created a task force.
So I'm at my age now. Even in my own family, my mother has been struggling with heroin for a very long time.
you blew everybody away with that statement, right? You know that, right?
No, I didn't, but it's
Yeah,
true.
oh,
That's
trust
the way
me.
the Lord
Oh,
used
trust me.
me to.
He showed you was
my
doing that.
life is an example of why I want to serve to help the community.
You was raised by your
I
grandparents.
was adopted by my grandmother
Right.
at birth because of the problems that we have. But the fact is,
Yeah, go.
the fact is, heroin is a problem in our community, and on the west side, it's really a problem, and we don't get the support that we need. Your program continued to do things to prevent teenagers from using drugs, alcohol, and yet it's very difficult to get the resources on the west side.
Absolutely.
And we have people driving down the 290 expressway buying
The
heroin, Eisenhower.
Express,
Yeah.
the heroin.
The heroin highway.
Yeah.
Coming to the west side of Chicago to buy heroin, but the only thing we do is we allow these people to come in, buy, and we arrest the people on the west side for selling. Those people go back in their
Right back
communities.
down the
and
expressway.
And if they have a substance abuse problem, most of them do, they have access to care in their community.
Absolutely.
But we don't have that same access to care on the west side.
So here's what we want to do. With that, what you said on that piece, I'm gonna share this little tidbit of information that on September the 17th, we'll be doing a free West Side Men's Health Fair at Loretta Hospital. And it's free.
Right.
Free screening, fitness and cardio, mental health, stress management, financial health, prostate, and social well-being. So here's an opportunity to get some free care, some free intervention, some free support, and fellowship with some more men.
You want me to tell you something about
Tell us about that.
So what's so amazing? I used to I had a habit of eating ranch sunflower seeds every night. I would eat like 2 bags of ranch sunflower seeds. So that wasn't good for my health. Otherwise, I'm pretty healthy. So I went to this last year.
Okay.
My blood pressure was high. I found out
At the
at
the event.
At the event, and they said you need to go see your doctor. So I called my doctor, and we did the blood pressure check. So I had coffee that morning, but I was eating sunflower seeds ranch every night.
So that prompted you to need to go and get checked.
To get checked out.
But you found out about it at the West Side
At the
Men's
West Side Men's Health.
Well, we're talking about mental health. We're talking about stress management. We're talking about substance abuse, how to deal with issues in life without having to resort to chemicals.
And you know what? That's right. So I didn't have to be put on medication. I changed my habit.
Yeah.
And my blood pressure is where it should be.
Let's get this caller up. Caller, you on air. We have Representative LaShawn Ford here. What is your comment or question, please? Hello? We can barely hear you. Something might be wrong with the phone, so call us back and let us know what your comment or question is. We have Representative LaShawn Ford on the show this evening, and LaShawn, let's talk specifically about what's going on in the community now. What's trending outside of the heroin? What is trending in the neighborhood? Young folks have told me that they got these mollies out there now that they have. Now the mollies have been made up now to be like Legos and Space Invaders and all kind of crazy stuff. So what have you heard that's trending, new drugs that are trending in your district?
Well, I do know that there's going to be a new type of heroin that's going to be coming to this region.
Okay.
And it's a man-made heroin
Synthetic
type of heroin.
What is it called?
And I can't recall the name, but I'm telling you, this is a killer.
So is it like something that I don't know,
Yes.
but is it something associated with like opium?
It's opiate, yeah. It's in that family,
Right.
But what the problem is, this is man-made and it has been known to cause overdose.
Okay, so that's synthetic.
That's synthetic.
That's a synthetic like they have crack.
Right.
A synthetic like they have spice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a caller. Caller, you on there? What's your comment?
Yes, this is Tracy Johnson.
Hey Tracy, what's going on?
All right.
What's your comment for tonight?
Yes, just a question in terms of what the state representative thinks that how can coalitions like the one in West Garfield Park be helpful to the heroin task force?
How can we?
Yes,
I mean, let them know that you're part of the coalition.
You know what? I think that you're the West Side,
Yeah.
so you are. We need to reach out to you. I hope that you would let us know that you want to be a part of it, so that you could be a part of the team.
Well, the
Because-
coalition, West Garfield Park, we're the West Side community stakeholders. So we definitely are
You're
part of
on it. You were on it. Yeah.
So we definitely want to make sure that those who need to know do know, and we want to make sure when you're hosting events or events need to be hosted to educate. We can also do one at the annual event.
Yes. Our goal is to make sure that organizations that deal with heroin and drug addiction, drug abuse, drug prevention, that we receive funding in Illinois.
To educate.
To educate, to prevent. There was a bill that we passed and that was vetoed by the governor. The legislature overrode the governor's veto. It was HB 1. There are millions of dollars in there. We have to fund House Bill 1 that we passed.
House Bill 1.
That's got millions.
So he vetoed
and
House
millions
Bill 1.
But we overrode it. The
Okay.
House and the Senate. It's now
Because you
law.
have a supermajority.
Supermajority.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Now, what's going on in the community with young people? Or what can we do with young people now in the community to keep them actively engaged so that they don't get caught up in risky behaviors?
I think that the key to helping young people is to give them the same opportunities that we see other young people in other communities that don't have an opportunity for risky behavior.
Okay.
I mean, when you think about it, my mother always said, idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Right. Listen, I want to thank you, Representative, and I want to also encourage those who are watching to come out on September the 17th at 10 o'clock, from 10 o'clock to 2 for Westside Free Men's Health Fair. And also we're going to be doing our annual Westside Anti-Violence and Substance Abuse Prevention Day on October the 3rd. We'll have Representative LaShawn Ford there, along with other folks who will be actively involved, resource tables, information. All is free refreshments, free time for folks to get together. I want to thank you, the viewing audience, for the faithfulness and for taking out and going with us through this transition from over on Green to over here on Woods. I want to thank Amari, Steve, and all of those good folks out there who do the work that they do to make sure that we have a nice show. I love you, Kiana. I love you, Vernicia. I love you, Walter. And I love all of you who are working hard to empower the least of us. But I want to encourage you that as these seasons are winding down and we see this plight of violence in our community, please be a blessing to your own children. Watch your own children. I think it's important, and you help me with this, Rep. I think it's important that we create some parenting initiatives to strengthen the parents who may be overwhelmed with parenting, who may be stressed out mentally.
You know, I think that
We got about 10 seconds.
the number one thing is to make sure that parents have access to jobs. I mean, that's stress
A
right
job
there.
help, right?
A job is it.
You want to stop violence, you want to stop stress, get a job.
That's right.
Listen, thank you again so much for calling in. Thank you for your support. Rep, I love you, man. I always have loved you. I think you're a good person. I think your heart is right. And I think you're doing good work. And thank you for looking out for Miss Natty and her son who was going through them little changes. The information that you did to find out why they kept him locked up, because she called all of us. All right. and of course, your Pat called us and made sure that we got all the information to get back to her. So again, I want to thank. Yeah. Listen, there's always work to do.
Yes.
So thank all of you. And listen, the market is tomorrow at Kedzie and Lake. The fresh fruit market, Kedzie and Lake tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Listen, thank you all again for what you're doing, how you do it, and the good work that you do in the community. And I wish I could go on, but of course the time on the wall is saying we got to cut it out. So look, Representative, we thank you for what you're doing for the task force. We thank you for what you're doing in the 8th District. And we thank you for what you're doing for the young folks who are really trying to make a difference. Yeah. God bless you and God keep you. Any closing remarks?
Well, thank you for being who you are, and thank you very much
hurt.
for working hard. I mean, when I get the call from you, I automatically have energy.
Thank you.
Because I know that you're coming with it.
Well, I love you too, God. So listen, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we appreciate it. God bless you. Good night, and keep the faith. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.